Here it is, the Husqvarna 522 LS. Why did I say 522? I know it's a 525 LS. Been a long day. It's spring at Carl's Mower and Saw. It's chaos. We're running, not quite 24/7, but hard all day long. And I wanted to take a chance to go over this 525 LS string trimmer that you maybe just picked up. You stopped by your local dealer, you looked at what they had available, you picked this thing up, you said, man, that feels good. It's light. It just feels right. Man, the grips feel right. They're the right diameter. That rubber coating, it matches me. It's what I want to use. So here's what you need to know to get the most out of your Husqvarna 525 LS trimmer. Whether you're a homeowner or a professional, some tips, some tricks. If you're a pro, you know, most of the stuff I'm going to say is like, you're better than that. I get it. You know it. But maybe there's a thing or two that can make your life better. First of all, more than likely, you're not going to have to put gas in it because a good dealer has already done that for you. Back up, back up. First of all, did you get your safety gear? Did you get your earmuffs? It's not super loud, but it's loud enough to protect your ears. I'm getting a little older. My hearing is starting to go. Second of all, ears, eyes. Man, a string trimmer chucks a rock. It doesn't take but a second for you to all of a sudden be, you know, have a black eye, not be able to see. It's not worth it. So wear your eye protection, wear your ear protection. Okay, now back at it. More than likely you don't need to deal with this because somebody already started it up for you. But it's a 2-cycle machine. And so in this guy, I'm going to run the Husqvarna XP Plus mix oil with an ethanol-free fuel. Personally, at Carl's Mower and Saw, we recommend you run smaller amounts of fuel, i.e. a 1-gallon gas can, and you just go through that stuff fast. And I'm not just hopping down to the pump and buying any old gas, don't care about what I'm buying, who cares? I recommend ethanol-free fuel. Now in our area, that's a 90 octane. Where you live, it might be a 91 octane or a 92 octane, but ultimately an ethanol-free fuel mixed with this Husqvarna oil mix. One of these to 1 gallon of gas. And for winter storage, you might want to consider a canned gas. Husqvarna makes their XP fuel. Steel uses their motor. There's different things, but think about a canned gas for long-term hibernation. Now, let's gas this thing up, because I have not done so yet. Take my nice no-spill fuel can, push the bam. Okay, now that I'm filling this gas, now I think to myself, I should have showed them where the gas goes. You guys are smart. You guys know what you're doing. Here it is. My gas goes right here. Okay, gas goes there. Now, what I'm going to do is push the primer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally, that's my magic number. This one has never been started, so I'm going to actually probably give it a few more. I want that fuel to be sucked into the primer and pushed back. Can't flood it. In fact, I can sit here all day long and push this primer, and it's going to have nothing to do with flooding it. So we've got it. The fuel is there. It's going. Now I need to choke it. Okay, and that's pulling up on this blue lever right here on the front. This stop switch is just a momentary kill switch. So I push down, but it returns to run. So I'm going to hold the handle here without touching the throttle trigger. I'm going to pull the rope. Ready? Okay, we're going. Now I should have got that choke off a little bit quicker, but you heard it fire and it went. Now I've pushed the choke knob in, lever, whatever you want to call this thing, but I still have not touched the throttle trigger. That's good. That's important. Don't touch the throttle trigger. Keep your hand held like this. It's running. As soon as it starts, I hit the trigger and it drops down to idle. You see that? To shut it off, slide that forward, shuts it off. Once it's warm, which I don't think it's warm yet, but I bet I can start it. Nice easy pull. A couple ways that you can start this. One would be on the ground with your knee on it. The other is something like this. Okay? Okay, there we go. Now we know how to start it. Really, as soon as it fires, you want to take that choke off and make sure you don't hit the throttle trigger or you're going to take off the throttle lock. So we know about the fuel we're running. We know where that goes. We know how to start it. What about right here? Under here, that's my air filter. Overlooked often. The air filter is such an overlooked thing on pieces of equipment. A lot of times weed eaters, that's the wrong word. String trimmers, weed eater's a brand. It's kind of like Kleenex, right? String trimmers, I mean, I see people like 15 years old, they've never looked at their air filter. This thing is sucking air and trying to breathe, and you can't give it a clean air filter. That cover comes off, that filter's in hand. If it's ugly, if it's coated with grass, with dirt, with oil, come in to your local dealership and pick up a new filter. So worth it. Let's put this back together. Spark plug. What about a spark plug? Man, what a tough thing. How often should I replace my spark plug? I don't have a solid answer for that. There's so many variables, right? So what quality of gas am I running? Am I mixing it properly? Am I running it full throttle? So many variables. Is my air filter dirty? Personally, I just throw a new one in every year. It's cheap, it's easy, and that spark plug is located right under here. Husqvarna has made it a little harder to change the spark plug, but that's all in the name of protecting the spark plug in case I dropped it. So this screw right here has to come out. That screw comes out, and then this cap comes off, and then you'll see your rubber spark plug boot. You pull that out, you throw a new spark plug in. Fuel filter, I would say as a homeowner, do it every probably 3, 4, 5 years. Pretty simple. You're going to fish it out of the tank. If you're a commercial guy, throw a new one in every year. Dude, just do it. Make it happen. Coming down the machine, really the next big thing is this gearbox, greasing this gearbox. And this screw right here will come out, and then you can take your needle tip greaser, or sometimes you can get these fancy tubes of grease that thread in, and you're going to squeeze a little grease in about every 50 hours. Now that we're down here, let's take a look at this head. This has the T35X head. Again, this blue knob spins independently from the line head. So it just really improves the performance or extends the life of the bump knob itself. But it's time to rewind this head. How do we do it? I'm going to push in on this little tab right there. Push in on that tab, and then I rotate it 180 degrees and I push out in on the other tab, and off comes my head. So my bump knob stays in place and the top of my trimmer head stays in place. And I have in my hand the housing and the spool. Let's get rid of this trimmer line. The name or the model of this trimmer head is the T35X. That 35 indicates that it can hold up to 35 feet of line. That's massive. That is larger really than anybody else is using in a bump head. And that means extended runtime, less downtime. Me personally, I generally will pull 5 arm lengths. So I would do something like this. I go to my spool of line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, I only pulled 4 this time. Oh well. Take my ends like that, put them together, find the middle. So here we go. Here's the middle. I then take this. You see that little notch right there? It's always fun when I can't see what the camera sees. See that little notch right there? That's where that middle hooks. Now you can only wind one way, because if I come the other way, it's going to pull right out. So hook it and then just start winding. See my index finger? See my thumb right there? See my middle finger? That's my guide. And I just round and round and round and round we go. Here's what I've learned. Round line works a little better. It feeds a little bit better. It's less likely to get caught on itself. Fresh line ages. So if you're a homeowner, I mean, I'd stick with 1 pound or less a year. If you're a commercial guy, 3 pounds makes sense because you're burning through it. But you really want to have fresh line. And there's quality differences. Telling you, I'm guessing if you go to some of the box stores, you're going to get some pretty low-end stuff that's going to melt easier, stick together easier. So round, fresh, quality. Around and round and round we go. I got too busy talking. Then when I get to the end like that, I'm going to lock one in that notch, and I'm going to come back. Normally I would go forward 180 degrees. I latch them there. So that it's all kind of together. Here's my spool housing. I set it in like so. This is interesting. I haven't done it vertically before. Normally it's done, horizontally before. Normally I do it vertically. And they both click out. Sorry, I couldn't see what I'm doing. Both click out and into the eyelets, like so. Now that right there, way too much trimmer line, but I'll trim that off. Then I come back to the trimmer and I clamp. I mean, I basically, it's all together and I just clamp it on, just like so. I'm gonna get my handy dandy cutter right here. I'm gonna take the trimmer head, I'm gonna pull that line, cut it off just short of the cutter. Good to go. That is how you rewind the T35X. One of the easiest heads to rewind out there, one of the most reliable heads. Couple other things. So we know how to rewind the head, we know about greasing. This handle can move up and down. What a beautiful handle. You see the little angle on that handle? It is ergonomically designed to really just fit an operator and keep them more correct for the way they stand. We know about the momentary kill switch. One other thing I like to point out that I love about this machine, and once you start using it, you too might discover you love it, is putting your fingers under this throttle trigger, okay? That will allow you to control your speed. There are areas of the lawn that you don't want to go 100 miles per hour. You only want to go 50. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but so putting your finger under and having some control over your max speed is a good thing. Edging, what a nice thing to keep it there, to just have a better control. Now, do not do that all the time. Why? Why don't do it all the time? I feel more comfortable at 50 miles per hour versus 100. Because over time, your two-cycle engine will plug up the spark arrestor in the exhaust. So you need to use it hard, but I like the way that Husqvarna has designed it so it can be used easier for those light touch areas. What a cool machine, the 525 LS. Congratulations. Remember, if you love this machine, it will love you back for years and years and years to come. That steel drive shaft, that 4-bearing gearbox, the T35 trimmer head, the 1.3 horsepower, lightweight, agile, nimble machine. Here you go. Check it out at your local dealer. If you're in Washington, not if you're in all of Washington. If you're in Northwest Washington, you know where to go. Carl's Mower and Saw. We're here to hook you up with the right piece of equipment for your property. We look forward to seeing you soon. If you have questions, drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We love y'all. I didn't say y'all. I'm told not to say y'all. We love each of you. You're awesome. We hope you think we're awesome too. I hope that they don't cut this off on my video. It's always fun to do that. So there you go. And always, with questions, refer to the owner's manual. I'm sure we missed some things. Drop a comment below. We didn't talk about any of these tools and the things you can do with these tools, like taking off the trimmer head, getting into all that stuff. But we're here for you. Drop a comment. We look forward to helping you make the most of this machine.